time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is absolutely incredible to be with you today. It is the Coach Approach, which means it's me, it's Ant from 49ers Cutback, and we're going to be breaking down some Seahawks matchups, some scheme stuff. It's a coach show, so we got to dive into that. Jauan Jennings, we've got O-line conversation. Ant, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Yeah, I'm excited. Football is here. The NFL officially kicks off tonight, which means, hey, it's that time. This is just the time that it's going to be all about football all the time. I'm super excited. And we got to wait a little bit longer for the 49ers, but some of it is fun now because now we can talk about X's and O's and matchups and keys. And that's always one of the great parts of football is the chess match that is. And this is going to be a chess match between Mike McDonald and Kyle Shanahan for sure, but then also Robert Saleh versus Clint Kubiak. And it's going to be interesting because now both defenses look at these offenses every single day at practice. You're not going to get too many things over on them when it comes to motions and timings and things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm pumped, man. And so like, I'm excited about that. Now, I was telling Ant before the show, before we went live, I'm a little cranky today, so I'm just warning the chat. Y'all best not be bringing up Jake Moody or offensive, center or whatever. Like, y'all just be careful because I'm a little snappy. The offspring got me a little upset this morning, but I love him. I want to say this. I'm going to tell this story. I'm doing this. I'm dropping him off. He's doing some dual credit classes his senior year, and so dropping him off at like the local community college. And he's got his headphones in like he normally does. And I asked this child, I said, you don't have your headphones in class, do you? And he goes, sometimes. I'm like, what? Like, you jackwagon? Anyway, so I'm just telling you, I'm coming out swinging today. Y'all best be careful. But I'm glad to be here. So let's start with some positivity because I need it in my life. Cooler heads seem to have prevailed. Jauan Jennings gets $3 million in incentives added on to the last year of his deal, which is his 2025 season. News came out late. I was pretty pumped about it. What are your thoughts just on adding this incentive to the Jauan Jennings deal? No long-term restructure, no extension, no any of that. Just kicking some extra pennies in. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's perfect timing. You get it done. He's going to feel very comfortable with where he's at financially.
Uh-oh. Ant's frozen on us. Uh-oh. I'm going to pull Ant down till he comes back. His video froze up and then the audio came, but he'll be back. And it's funny because we've been talking about this whenever the first news came out, the long-term plan for Jauan Jennings, that has been established by adding, Cowing, Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, and the 2-year deal for Demarcus Robinson, who's getting paid like a value wide receiver 3. So whenever those things came out, I knew that it was kind of, vio con Dios to Jauan Jennings. Does he deserve to be paid more? Sure. But it's got to work for both of them. And now he gets to get paid if he goes out there and, is ready to go. I think we got Ant back. Uh-oh, maybe not. The video's lagging there. He'll be back in a second. So I thought it was a good compromise. And again, I said the very first episode, and many times over, man, kick him a couple $1 million deal in incentives or guarantees, make him happy. Yeah, he wants the long-term deal, but it's not going to come about. But probably my favorite thing about it, the 49ers continue to try and establish this precedent of if you come in practice, we can do an extension. You look at all 3 guys that got extended this year, Brock Purdy, Fred Warner, George Kittle. They were at practice before they even announced the extensions. You talk about what they did with Jauan Jennings. Yeah, huge hubbubaloo about, I want this new deal, however much money. Doesn't matter. Deal doesn't even get announced until after you are at practice playing. Ayuk changed things big time. Yeah, I'm like the Dark Knight. We can't go back to what it was. You can't. You've changed things, right? And so that's what it is. And so for the people that criticize Shanahan and John Lynch all the time and how stubborn they are, and they are, to say that they don't adapt and change whenever it comes to personnelling, I completely disagree. Reuben Foster, they don't go after any more troubled off the field guys since then, right? Javon Kinlaw, they don't go after any major injured players early in drafts since then. Trey Lance, they don't go after any inexperienced, haven't played much, just huge potential guys that don't have experience since then. Since that IU contract, no, we're not doing that. You show up and you practice. We ain't doing a deal without it. You got to show up and be here. You do that, then we can talk. Now, Colton McKivitz, we'll see how that goes, because the Colton McKivitz deal just got a little bit spicier against the team you're playing this week. Abe Lucas, the right tackle for the Seattle Seahawks, just got a $15.3 million deal per year, 3-year extension. And listen, Colton McKivitz is better than Gabe Davis. He's better. Now, is he as consistent on the pass rush against the bend? Probably not. But if you ask me, would you rather have Colton McKivitz at right tackle, or would you rather have Abe Lucas? Teams run the exact same scheme for the most part. I'm taking Colton McKivitz, especially with what he did last year. Now, Abe Lucas has had some injuries. He's had some other issues, some things like that. But I'm telling you right now, the better player is Colton McKivitz. Shannon, I love this. JJ's going to play his heart out this season. That's what they need. And that's what the 49ers need. You need him to go out there. I put the Omar's coming, the GIF out this morning from The Wire. Like, that needs to be JJ. So Ant's back with us. Talk to me, Ant. What are your thoughts on this JJ $3 million incentive added to his contract?
Yeah, what's great is I just went on a whole spiel and didn't know no one could hear me. So that was great. But, the thing is, I think it's a good thing for the 49ers. Number one, it puts them in a position to continue to have a working relationship with Jauan Jennings, which is exactly what you want. You want him motivated, and he's going to be motivated. Number one, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and he wants to prove that last year is not an anomaly. That's something that he can do again. So going out and being motivated is huge, but also that the 49ers value him. And they know he's worth more than $7.5 million. So adding an extra $3 million isn't exactly a win for Drew Rosenhaus, the agent, but it's something that at least the 49ers invested a little bit more in Jauan Jennings, and he's now more invested in the team and not just his own, personal endeavors to win more money. But he definitely deserves to be paid over $10 million, and I'm glad that he got it. And I think now everything moves forward. Both sides are going to be happy. And that's what we needed. We needed a happy Jauan Jennings, because when third down comes, you need Jauan Jennings to make plays. But on first and second down, you also need him to take one of those cornerbacks and put him into the bench area. And that's what he does better than anyone else. So there was a great move by both sides. And I'm just glad they came to some sort of conclusion before the season started.
Yeah, man, I just want, if I'm the 49ers, no, you don't predicate necessarily the cornerback wide receiver matchups, but I'm motioning Jauan Jennings to try to get him on Tyreek Woolen every damn play. Like, like Devin Witherspoon, like, he's physical, like, he's small, but he's tough. He likes to battle. He's got that anger. Him and Diamondor Lenore are kind of birds of a feather. They want to fight. Tyreek Woolen is 6'4", 200 pounds, runs a 4.3, and hates contact. He's been benched before because of Jauan Jennings. And so if I'm the 49ers, I'm like, okay, where is Tyreek Woolen? I'm pulling Jauan Jennings as a lead. I'm doing like a double whatever, jet sweep. I am trying to get to the edge, power run game right at Tyreek Woolen right off the bat. That's in my Shanahan 10 scripted plays. He scripts 20, but we are going to Tyreek Woolen's side. We're pulling Luke Farrell, George Kittle. Like, we're getting all the mean dudes. I want to set the tone and let this dude know this is big boy football. You better lace him up. You better strap him in, because we're coming for your damn soul. Tyreek Woolen, we got a target on your back all game, baby. Like, that's what I want to see. So props to Jauan Jennings. Now, let's talk about Colton McKivitz, okay? And I want to do this. I want to bracket this conversation with the draft. Yesterday I talked about how the 49ers have gone 4 straight drafts without an offensive tackle drafted. they're up to 11 straight drafts without drafting a center. 2014, Marcus Martin was the last center, and Jalen Moore, who's no longer on the team, was the last tackle drafted. So Invader puts out there, with a good year, McKivitz will command $20 million, which I doubt the 49ers are willing to pay. I completely agree with that. I do. Do you think that Colton McKivitz is a more consistent player than Abe Lucas, who just got $15.3 million?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and he's healthy. He stays healthy, which is one of the key elements. Abe Lucas doesn't stay healthy. Colton McKivitz has outplayed Abe Lucas for sure. $15 million. I mean, that's nowhere near what Colton McKivitz is going to get. If he gets out on the open market, it's going to be a lot more than that. Jalen Moore, who was a backup at the position, just got $15 million per year. So yeah, I think he's worth way more than 15 for sure.
Yeah, so I went back and shout out to Charles. Charles H. emailed me and he said, the show yesterday, you talked about no offensive tackle centers, but with all the third round misses, TDP, Danny Gray, Jake Moody, Latu, Trey Sermon, were there any quality offensive tackles or centers taken after them in those drafts that the 49ers could have taken? So doing what I do, and maybe this is why I'm actually cranky. It's not actually my son. It's not the son being a whatever. It's this. So I went back through, okay, Trey Sermon. I'll go quick on this. I don't want this to be too name heavy. In 2021, the 49ers traded up and took Trey Sermon, number 88 overall. Here are the offensive linemen that went after him. Quinn Meinerz went 98. He was a rush crush player. Drew Dahlman, the center, who I absolutely love. Spencer Brown went 93. Dan Moore, 128. Trey Smith, 226. Like, that's a lot of quality offensive linemen. Now, that was the biggest year, probably most quality offensive lineman year. Now, let's go to 2022. The 49ers took Ty Davis Price, 93, and Danny Gray, 105. Really not a lot of quality offensive players. And really, Spencer Burford was one of the ones that would have counted as a quality offensive line draft pick, who is now the swing tackle, wasn't drafted to play tackle, but now he is because you don't have it. Zach Tom went 140. I know you were big on Zach Tom. And Braxton Jones, 168. I think Zach Tom's definitely a stud there. Braxton Jones, he's quality, though. I would take him. I wouldn't be mad if he was the right tackle. Then in 2023, Jake Moody, 99, Cameron Latu, 101. And you're playing against the center I would have taken this year. My rush crush at the center position that year was Olusegun Oluwatumi, who's now starting for the Seattle Seahawks. Dawan Jones went 111. Carter Warren went 120. These are the names that were on the board at those times that you could have swapped out. And I know it's cherry picking, Ant, but what are your thoughts with, you don't have any backup plans behind the right tackle spot? Austin Pleasance is not the long-term answer. So what are your thoughts on, should the Niners re-sign Colton McKivitz for around $18 to $20 million a year? Do you let them go and get that huge comp pick and then draft? What are your thoughts on retention and what to do now?
Yeah, I think, you brought up 2021. I think what makes it interesting is they drafted Aaron Banks in the second round. I'm not sure that was the target. I think it was actually Walker Little, tackle from Stanford, who's now plays for Jacksonville. I think he was the actual target, but he didn't make it there. And the 49ers tried to trade back that year, so it didn't work. Lots of valuable players there. Now, I will say this. Colton McKivitz has become a consistent right tackle in the NFL. I mean, is he the top of the line right tackle in the NFL? No, but I think he's, towards the middle to early part of that conversation because of his consistency. Year one as a starter didn't go well, but last year he was way more effective, way more efficient. His run blocking got a lot better. His pass blocking, he didn't give up as many hurries, not as many sacks. I think that Colton McKivitz is on target. And I think it was a couple months ago, whenever it was that they put Fred out there, for his contract extension, that I said that I thought Colton McKivitz was the next one the 49ers needed to extend. And I still believe that now. I do believe that you might have to pay Colton McKivitz $20 million because you do have to replace Trent Williams eventually too. And where is Trent going to be at as far as when it's time to retire? At some point, that money is going to come off the books, and you can afford to pay a right tackle $20 million, especially with the way you're paying, Ben Barch, $1.5 million? I mean, you're paying him nothing. Jake Brendel's not making big-time money either.
$4 million,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, the investment, you can still make it, and you can make his contract work around Trent Williams. So I would still be interested in it, because your thought process is you're probably going to be picking late 20s. Now you can find a guy in the late 20s to solidify right tackle. That is for sure. Left tackle is a little bit more difficult, but I think Colton McKivitz is becoming the mainstay, and I think they'd like to keep him. Just the question is, John, would you pay somebody like Colton McKivitz $20 million a year?
Yes, I would. Right tackle is the worst quality position in the NFL. Like, it is the most devoid of quality talent in the NFL. I think there's like 7 to 8 good ones, and Colton McKivitz is right at that 7 to 8 cusp. Now, the problem, the 49ers are out of moolah. They ain't got money in the future. Really, really don't. So, if you get, like, if I knew Trent was going to retire, then I'll pay him. But if Trent is going to stay, and if Trent stays, he's going to want an extension. It's the Trent Williams way. Like, next year's the last year of his deal. Like, I think he would want more money. That's going to make it hard. So, and I love that Invader, I think they drafted OT early next year. We've said this for 5 straight years. They have not taken one tackle in 4 consecutive drafts, despite every mock draft being offensive tackle early. And the way that offensive tackle would have been drafted, I still believe this to this day, that if Mikael Williams would have went, I think they would have taken Kelvin Banks Jr., the offensive tackle, but he went at 10 when the 49ers thought the Saints were going to take the defensive end. Like, I think that was in the realm of possibility. So I don't know. I would try to do a friendly deal now for like a $17 million a year. I would try, but he's 29. It's not like he's old. Like he ain't got a lot of years left. Like, how long do you want Colton McKivitz? Do you want to sign him through his 33rd year? So you do a 4-year, $17 million per year to try to get that value on the back end. I know he's been healthy. Yeah, and you can move Pooney to right tackle. You could talk about, bringing back, Burford and letting him play right tackle next year. Austin Pleasance cannot be a starting right tackle for the 49ers. Like, am I crazy? I know you're an O-line guy, so I want your opinion. Like,
I'm surprised he's on the team, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
I did think that they would eventually decide to keep him because they decided to keep 2 tackles, but that's just a little surprising. I don't think he has the feet for this system. I think he's going to be inconsistent if he does get out there, but they don't really have a whole lot of options. They're very good on the inside. I mean, Connor Kobe and Drew Moss are helping with the depth on the inside. Matt Hennessy as well. They're very deep there. The tackle position, though, is the question mark, and Austin Pleasance is doing no one any favors. Don't be surprised if anything happened to Colton McKivitz during a game if Spencer Burford's the one that plays right tackle. Like, I just don't think that Austin Pleasance is going to be the guy, and they're going to have to figure this thing out. And they could just wait and try to sign somebody else in free agency, draft somebody. But if they draft somebody, it might not be round 1 or round 2 or round 3. They got Colton McKivitz in round 5. They got Spencer Burford in round 4. Jalen Moore, round 5. That's the more likely conclusion that they would go that direction and get one of those guys in a late round. So to me, I think that that's kind of what they'll do again. I don't see them investing in offensive line unless they believe it's the left tackle of the future, somebody that can take over for Trent Williams. Other than that, they feel like they can go late in drafts and pick up the guy that can get it done. And Colt McKivitz is kind of proof that happens, right? Dominic Pooney in round 3 is still proof that can happen. But I would love an investment of an offensive lineman early in the draft. Maybe this next year will be it. Maybe that's the focus. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Now it is time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk some Seahawks. I'm excited. Ant just finished a great Patreon breakdown, which if you haven't supported 49ers Cutback on Patreon, head over there, check it out, patreon.com/49ers Cutback, where he broke down McDonald's defense and how they're going to attack the 49ers, and that is what we're going to talk about next.
49ers Rush Road Trip is going into its 6th year with over 40 events at road games. If you are traveling to see the 49ers play this year, you got to come party with us. And on top of that, we give games, trivia, giveaways. We've partnered with TickPick this year. All you have to do is search 49ers Rush on any of the TickPick sites, apps, you name it. And on top of all of that, best dressed, giveaways, autographed jerseys. Kids are always included, and get in for free with a ticketed adult. And a lot of times for select cities, we will have 49ers legends come out and you get to meet and greet them and get an autograph. Navarro Bowman, Frank Gore, Patrick Willis, Fred Warner are all players that we have worked with in the past. And trust me, if you want to build the 49ers community, you're traveling by yourself, we got you covered. 49ersrushroadtrip.com.
Dude, I love it. Check this out. Andrew, appreciate the super chat. I'm taking my son to his first game. We are in section 3 on the 20-yard line. Gonna be an awesome day. How cool is that? Joe says, I'm pumped. I get to shake John's hand. I'm super excited about this one. Take a picture with the Inconvenient Truth. Here's Snoop at halftime, party with friends, all those things. Man, I am so pumped about what's going on this weekend. We're going to be in Seattle. I fly out here in a couple of days. Frank Gore's going to be with us. Tickets are almost sold out, guys. Do not wait. I would hate for somebody to miss this because we're at capacity whenever, I want to meet Frank Gore. Dude, we have those available. Go to the TickPick app. Just search 49ers Rush or follow the link in the description of this video. Come party with us. It's going to be a great freaking time. Look at this, Trey Hall. Sup, JC? I might be at the tailgate this weekend. Dude, we are going to be having an absolute blast. Come out with us. We're going to be right in front of the press box. Get your tickets. Let's go. Let's go. Can't wait to see you, Trey. Hopefully you make it out. Now, let's talk Mike Macdonald, because Mike Macdonald was hired by the Seahawks for one reason and one reason only: to stop Sean McVay and to stop Kyle Shanahan. Talk to me about what you think they're going to try to do with their scheme to stop the 49ers offense.
Yeah, what's interesting is you normally think, okay, we're going to get a lot of very heavy boxes. But when you watch Mike Macdonald and what he did against the 49ers in the last game that they played each other, he went a lot of too high safety. He said, you know what, we're going to make you prove that you can run the football against 7-man boxes and 6-man boxes. And they even went a lot of 3 safety looks, and they had put Julian Love up there in the box and allow him to play up there. They really weren't worried. Now, part of the reason for that is George Kittle wasn't playing, right? It was Eric Saubert. He's not even around anymore, and he wasn't effective blocking in that game at all. But you could see the chess match. There was a couple of things I noticed right off. First, it was the 2 high safety. Then it was how deep that the interior linebackers were dropping. Both Ernest Jones and Tyrese Knight were dropping very deep to take away the 49ers deep crossers. And so you started seeing sight adjustments by Kyle Shanahan as that game went on. And all of a sudden, those routes were coming a little bit shorter underneath and playing underneath those. So you see Mike Macdonald going ahead and taking away all of the Kyle Shanahan staples, making it a little bit more difficult for Brock Purdy in the passing game, and making the 49ers prove that they could run against this very good defensive line and hyper-athletic linebackers. Then what he liked to do was blitz those linebackers, especially in run blitz situations. So the 49ers game plan against that defense was very simple. We're going to attack the edge. We're going to go after your edge defender, and we're going to try to create open lanes for Christian McCaffrey to run the football. And to counter that, Seattle said, okay, we're going to put an extra athletic player in the box with the third safety, which could be Nick Emenwari this year. Remember, they have a new safety in town, so it could be him. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sit those 2 safeties back, and we're going to let them kind of play it so that way you don't have the opportunity to take those shots down the field. So what did Kyle Shanahan do to counteract that? Well, now he's got MVS to take the ball vertical down the field and put those safeties in a little bit of a tough situation. And he's got a new tight end in Luke Farrell that can help make those blocks that Eric Saubert couldn't make last year. So lots of 12 and 21 personnel last year against McDonald's defense, and really McDonald didn't care. It was like, oh, you're 21, you want to split Kyle Juszczyk out? Cool. We're staying 2 high safeties the whole time. We're zone coveraging you the whole time. So I think we can expect a lot of the same. I think we can expect some very aggressive calls at times when he thinks he's got certain 49ers in a certain situation, a 3rd and 5, he'll be more aggressive. He'll even take one of those safeties and put him in a robber position and take someone over the middle. So McDonald has a game plan. Prove you can run the ball before I react to it. And once the 49ers prove it, then he will react, and then it will kind of open up that passing game.
That script, man. You've got to establish the run. You got to establish the run. Like, it's funny because my favorite bets this week and I've been saying it on every show, is Brock Purdy under 32.5 pass attempts. But now that line's dropped all the way down to 29.5. So, like, it just keeps going down. So, yeah, you've got to run the ball. And even if they load up the front, man, misdirection, screen passes. I would love for us to get back to screen passes. Last year, almost deleted from the offense in total. Like, you got to have those. You got to have those. I am curious how much Nicky Emanwari will play. You know, they like their safeties. Julian Love and Kobe Bryant, like, they like those guys. So are they going to do those 3 safety looks? Does Nicky Emanwari go in there and play, some slot nickel corner or whatever else? They like Devin Witherspoon in that role. I want to see how much the rookie's going to be out there, and I hope it's a lot. I know he's the height, weight, speed, specimen, all those things, but he doesn't like coming downhill and tackling. Like that's not in. If that's going to be CMC and Kittle and Jauan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, like, I'm totally cool with that. So yeah, we'll have to see. Now, we got this question from Joe. I don't know if he's still with us. He had to go on this one. He said, I have a question for you. Have you saw or heard the Niners defense playing some traditional 5-man fronts, or is it only the NASCAR packages?
We've always see them working on this stuff in training camp. They do 5-man looks. A lot of times you get 5-6-man looks when you get into the red zone where you think guys are going to run or short yardage. There's always the possibility. But with the 49ers, I don't think they want to go to as many big fronts because they like having, especially Robert Saleh, those hyper-athletic linebackers on the field. And when you start putting an extra defensive lineman out there, you start pulling off linebackers or defensive backs. And I think that he likes the versatility and speed element to kind of give them a different look on who's going to come. So you get D Winters, you get Fred Warner, line them up in the A gaps, bring in those hyper athletic defensive ends, like Bryce Huff and Mikel Williams. And if Yetur Gross-Matos plays, who knows? But you get those guys on the inside and you let them rush. I don't think you need to go to a lot of 5-man looks unless it's, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and they're going heavy on the other side with a 22 or 23 personnel. Maybe you do something like that. But I think it's going to be a time where you see it less than you saw it under the previous 2 defensive coordinators, where we didn't see it a ton under D'Amico, but you kind of seen it come in with Steve Wilkes and then a little bit last year as well. I think they're going to kind of stay away from it because versatility is the name of the game. And for Saleh, it's always speed is the name of the game.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Gross-Matos. Like, if he doesn't practice today, he ain't playing. I already think he's out week 1. I think this is a week 3 target. But the fact that he practiced Monday, had the day off Tuesday, and still didn't practice Wednesday, like, that's all the practicing he's done really this year. So, like, I don't think Gross-Matos is going to play this week. I think this is a 2-week out endeavor. And if, we're recording this before the injury report comes out on Thursday, but if he doesn't practice today, 100% he's not playing. Like, 100%. I would say it's probably at like 80%. Gross-Matos not playing week 1, but if he doesn't practice today, 100% that dude's out. What are your thoughts just on Gross-Matos and what that whole process has been like?
Yeah, I'm guessing they know exactly. It was Hufanga they took off the PUP list last year, but didn't plan on playing him right away. And it's one of those things where if you feel like he's going to be back before week 4, then a lot of times they go ahead and they bring him back and they start working him in so they don't miss him for extra games. I think I'm with you. I agree. If he practices today, there's a chance he plays. And even then, I think it's going to be a limited role. I don't think you're going to see him as a base defensive end. I think you'll only see him in those NASCAR packages on 3rd down, him and Bryce Huff, kind of those guys that can get after it. And you can afford to do that because you have, Robert Beal Jr. and you have Sam Okawanu, who could be your base down defensive ends with Nick Bosa and Mikel Williams. So you can have 2 specialists out there that can do some things as far as rushing the passer if you feel that's needed. I don't think that you have to have Gross-Matos this week to win. I think that there are some matchups with guys like Jordan Elliott on the inside that you could take advantage of, especially against this interior part of the offensive line for Seattle that's not great. So I don't think it's imperative they have him, but it's always nicer to have that guy that could do that. But even then, what's it going to be, 8-10 snaps? That would be tops, I think, for Gross-Matos if he played.
And I want to be honest. I don't want Yetur Gross-Matos to play this week. Like, him and Leonard Floyd were the reason we lost to Geno Smith last year, that Seahawks game. They both quit. They both were too tired to keep playing, and they just watched Geno Smith run for a touchdown and, like, literally just, like, shrugged their shoulders. They were so tired. But Joe says, can they deactivate Gross-Matos? You have to have 6, healthy scratches or whatever from the 53. So, yeah. Now, you can call up 2 practice squad players a week. Russell Gage is going to be 1. Sebastian Valdez is a possibility. I would like that. Personally, do you have somebody else from the practice squad that you would like them to promote? Because I feel like Russell Gage is kind of pinned in already. What are your thoughts there on the 2 promotions?
Yeah, I think will be Russell Gage for sure. It was either going to be him or MVS, and now they've switched spots. It'll be Gage. And I think that the other one's going to be one of 2 positions. It'll either be Eli Apple, who they're going to have, to play corner, or it'll be Jalen Mahoney to come up and be a backup safety who can also help on special teams. So I think that those 2 guys make the most sense. I don't think it'll be an interior defensive lineman or a defensive end. You have 6 defensive ends on the active roster. You have 5 defensive tackles. You are loaded. You don't need Valdez to come up. You don't need one of those guys to come up. You need guys at other positions. So I would guess it would be a cornerback where you're a little light and Eli Apple has experience, or the safety, Jalen Mahoney. We saw him elevated a lot last year. And right now, depending on what you feel about Saran Neal, you either have 3 safeties or you have 4. If you have 3, you need to elevate somebody like Jalen Mahoney just in case something happens.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Now, let's talk matchups, because you and I, we were talking before this show, and we kind of have the same Seattle Seahawks player pinned in as one of the best in their position. Doesn't get a lot of love. So if that's what we're going to be doing next, where the best matchups are in this 49ers versus Seahawks game right after this. You know that one guy in the group chat who had a 5-leg parlay week 1 and just wouldn't shut up about it for the rest of the season? That could be you. My bookie makes it super easy to get into the action. College football, NFL, super contest, survivor pools, casino, blackjack, whatever it is you want, they got it. All the spreads, player props, and in-game lines you could want, all under one roof. And if you're new to my bookie, use our code 49ers, 49ERS, up to $500 is fully covered. You make your play. Let's say it doesn't hit. You get all of it right back up to $500 when you opt in using your bet back bonus, and you get it back. It's just what it is. Comes with a one-time rollover if you use it. Now, no better time to jump in, no better place to play. Plus, we have all of our weekly bets and season bets up on our Patreon and the 49ersrush.com. So if you don't know how to get started, we've got it made for you. We show you what we bet. We show you what's out there, and we will cover that with you. It's going to be a good time. So football's back. Let's make some money with my bookie. Promo code 49ERS. Let's go. Now, remember, our bets of the week will be posted tomorrow. So for week 1 betting and all that's going to be on there. But one of my dark horse candidates for Defensive Player of the Year is on the Seattle Seahawks team. Let's talk about Leonard Williams, because I asked you, here's how I posed the question right before the show. We went live. I was like, do you like Leonard Williams as much as I do? Because for me, he's a top 3 defensive tackle of the NFL. And what are your thoughts on Leonard Williams, and what do we got to pay attention to with their big defensive line?
Yeah, he's one of my favorite defensive tackles in the NFL. And, I told you I've been watching him since he was at USC. The guy's a monster, and he's got the length, he's got the size, he's got the athletic ability. He's a real problem for offensive guards especially, but offensive tackles as well. And anytime you see somebody that can power up and throw Trent Williams around at times, you've got an absolute monster on your hands. And that's exactly who he is. Now, what's interesting about him is last year, the first game that he went against Dominic Pooney, they didn't move him over there a whole lot. But when they did, Pooney struggled a little bit. But the second time going against Leonard Williams, Dominic Pooney held his own. And that was one of the fun matchups to watch. So the 49ers are going to have a big question in this game, because Aaron Banks struggled against Leonard Williams at times, especially his athleticism and his length gave Banks a lot of problems. Now you've got Ben Barch. What is Barch going to be able to do against Leonard Williams, who not just has the speed element, but the size and the ability to drive someone back into the quarterback? That's going to be a problem, because it's not like you can consistently give help with Jake Brendel, who's going to be dealing with Byron Murphy, or Jaron Reed, who's going to be in there, and he's going to be doing some things as well. They've just got 3 big individuals who can all move. And so I think that Leonard Williams is going to have some matchups that he likes. Mike McDonald's going to move him around and try to get some matchups he likes. And if you get to 3rd and long, I worry about them showing a blitz, giving Jake Brendel a look, and then you get a one-on-one with Ben Barch, one-on-one with Leonard Williams, and that's advantage Seahawks in a big way. So how do the 49ers go about limiting that is staying ahead of the sticks, number one. But number two is just making sure that you don't force 3rd and longs where Ben Barch has to deal with Leonard Williams, because Leonard Williams will be a problem for him. The best situation for the 49ers is if McDonald decides to slide him out a little bit to Trent Williams, or even go give him a shot at Colt McKivitz or Dominic Pooney. That's the best situations for the 49ers.
Dude, if I'm playing the Niners, I'm going with all my best players inside. I want them going against Jake Brindle. I want them going against Ben Barch. And I love Dominic Pooney, but like, he struggled in the Rams games last year. Like you talked about, he struggled in that first game for Seattle Seahawks. He's not fully healthy. He's out there practicing, and, he's toughing it out because he's a badass. But like, yeah, I'm highlighting those 3 interior offensive line spots. And it's not that it's just Leonard Williams. Brian Murphy, one of my favorite draft picks out of Texas last year. That dude, dealt with some injuries, but they're pretty high on him. DeMarcus Lawrence, who they signed, he kicks in their NASCAR version. He blitzes a lot from the interior as well. So those are kind of the things that I'm a little bit worried about. Now, the flip side of this is, all right, well, what's the 49ers offense's advantage against the Seattle? It's linebackers. Good Lord. CMC and George Kittle versus those linebackers. Holy freaking cow. I don't know how they're going to come up with a way to stop that. We didn't have CMC either game last year against them. And so that was kind of a major issue. Now, Jordan Mason and Isaac Guerrero were able to have a lot of success running the ball against them, but CMC is better than them on their best days. So, having said that, how many touches do you think CMC gets in this game?
I think he's going to get around 15 to 20. I think that's kind of the target for the 49ers. I think Brian Robinson is going to be sprinkled in there as well. And this is one of those times where you have to maximize touches for Christian McCaffrey. You can't have him take a lot of hits. It can't be one of those games where he's getting, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Those carries got to go to Brian Robinson. You got to be very strategic on when you're getting Christian McCaffrey the ball, and you want to have it happen the most in space. So these toss plays, outside zone plays, and then the screens and the Texas routes and the choice routes, the things that he can do, I think are going to be very important. And that is definitely one of the key matchups is Christian McCaffrey versus Tyrese Knight and Ernest Jones. I think getting those matchups are advantage 49ers. And if you happen to get George Kittle in those situations, it's advantage 49ers. Watching that film and breaking it down for Patreon, Eric Saubert should have had a couple of touchdowns in that game because he was able to win.
I remember he fell down on that one damn route. He was the hot route read, and he fell down his second step. Nobody around him. Quarterback looks to throw it to him, but he falls down and just goes, uh-oh. Like, oh my gosh. I was at that game, and I was livid. People were like, why are you so upset? I was like, the hot route tight end just tripped.
Yeah.
Like, what? I was like, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you're going to have some cool matchups between, Kittle and McCaffrey and those linebackers. That's a huge advantage. And I'll give the 49ers this. George Kittle versus the Seattle Seahawks safeties is still advantage 49ers. We've seen him cook Love a couple of years. So I'm okay with it. I think this is going to be fun for the Niners, and those are some of the matchups Shanahan's going to try to take advantage of.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I just want that I want Pearsall, Kittle, CMC. That should be and I love Jauan Jennings, but he hasn't practiced. I want Jauan Jennings for his physicality. It's a third down, in breakers, out routes, whatever else. But I want the 3 targets to be CMC, George Kittle, and Ricky Pearsall. That's what the offense should go through. Now let's flip the script. Let's go to the other side, and let's talk about the 49ers on defense and the Seattle Seahawks on offense. What are some of your main matchups? How is Seattle going to attack this 49ers defense?
I think the first thing they want to do is establish a run game, right? I mean, this is Kubiak now. This isn't Grubb. This is Kubiak. And so he's going to want to have a balanced offense. He's going to want to get that run game going and build play action off of it because that's what suits Sam Darnold as well. Sam Darnold, if you can get a run game going, he's going to be deathly. But if you can't, it's going to be a problem for him. He can't sit in the pocket consistently and pick you apart. He's better when things open up horizontally or even vertically. And then they're going to run this after that through Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith-Njigba. They have to. And that's going to be one of the key matchups in this game is going to be either Upton Stout or Chase Lucas against whoever's playing in the slot. And I think that that's one of the key elements to this game is can you slow those guys down? You're not going to stop them but can you slow them down? And I think that's going to be the key. Stop the run and then stop those guys winning in the slot. I think when they're playing outside, Bernardo Green and Deommodore Lenoir are going to do just fine. The question mark is inside. I think that's going to be one of the keys.
Yeah, we don't even know who they're doing. I think it's going to be Upton Stout, but you have Chase Lucas waiting in the wings. The worst case scenario, kick Demo inside. But cornerback depth is a major issue, major issue. Your number 3 and 4 corner, all of training camp and preseason, was Dallas Flowers and Trey Brown. Neither one of them on this team, not even on this practice squad, not even on the roster. So, Darrell Luter Jr. and Chase Lucas are a play away from playing significant snaps against quality players. People don't understand. Jackson Smith-Njigba was awesome last year. Dude had 100 receptions, over 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, and now he's in a more featured role in this offense. That is the mainstay of what they're trying to accomplish with this offense. And again, the nickel spot, you drafted Upton Stout. I love him. I'm excited. He hasn't played one snap versus another team yet. He missed all of the preseason. You're throwing this dude into the fire. You're going to find out real damn quick. And I think there's a few players. I think 3 players kind of come to mind for me for the 49ers defense. That number 2 linebacker, D. Winters. Can he play like he's played all preseason? Your nickel corner, Upton Stout. And then if you're going to start Ji'Ayir Brown, you're going to have missed tackles. Missed tackles are coming. In coverage aspect, Ji'Ayir Brown holds his own whenever he doesn't run into his own players. But I don't know. Ji'Ayir Brown's starting, right?
I think so. Yeah, I've kind of been on this for a little while, and I think that it got cemented in the third preseason game. I think if Marquise Eagle would have showed himself in coverage a little bit better, because he's by far the better tackler, but his instincts are a little slow right now. Right, he's got a little bit dirty eyes sometimes. He's hesitating a little bit. So I think at some point he'll be ready to go. But right now it's got to be Ji'Ayir, the veteran ability. If they start Marquise Siegel, though, I'm all in. I mean, I want to see this dude succeed, and I think he's got a lot of ability. But it's going to – can you start 2 rookies at the same time? That's the question.
Yeah, 2 rookies at the same damn time. There we go. That's the way the song goes. Yeah, there we go. So we'll have to see there. Leon says, do you think Debo will have to shadow Jay? I said no. They don't have the number 3 corner to allow that to take place. And I remind people this. Deommodore Lenoir did not take 1 snap inside all of minicamp, all of training camp, all of preseason. Every single snap he took was outside corner only. Kyle Shanahan every time says we want Demo to play 1 position. They invested. They paid for him. They want to keep him outside. That is where they see the value. You don't have any outside wide receiver corner depth. You got a bunch of nickels, but you got you got Renardo Green, and you've got Deommodore Lenoir on the outside, and then nothing. Literally nothing. I'm telling you right now, the 49ers have the worst 3rd outside cornerback in the NFL. It's not even close. It's going to be Darrell Luter Jr. Nah, bro. Should be on this roster in the first place, but nah. If injuries happen at any position, and this is crazy, I'm going to say this. And obviously, you never root for injuries. I'm not saying I want injuries. I'm not superstitious, knock on wood, whatever else. You could overcome an injury at the quarterback position with Mac Jones as your backup better than you could at the outside corner spot. If you miss an outside corner, I'm telling you right now, it's red alert. It is. You're in trouble. Because who the hell is going to play? Chase Luke? Who's your number 3 corner coming in? Outside.
Yeah, I think it'll be Darrell Luter Jr. I would pick Chase Lucas, but I think it'll be Darrell Luter Jr. I think that if something happened to one of your big 3, right, your 3 presumed starters, Upton Stout, Renardo Green, or Deommodore Lenoir, you're going shopping. There's some guys still in the free agent market that only will play if they're going to be starters, but you can't start Darrell Luter Jr. for an extended period of time. I don't think he showed enough. I thought Dallas Flowers was friends, right? Very Isaac Yedem type, of production. I think he would have been okay. But that's very concerning. You always hope Darrell Luter Jr. is going to step up, but we just haven't seen it consistently. We've seen flashes, but consistently he hasn't been great.
No, he's good against the run. But he's 7'11", man. That wide receiver's open 24/7. Just kind of what it is. So, all right, I like it. Any other thoughts or, anything with the Seahawks and 49ers matchup or keys to the game that perhaps we haven't talked about yet? Obviously, whichever team establishes the run, they're going to have the same goal there. Offensively, they're going to look the same. And, can you get to Sam Darnold, right? Can you get to Sam Darnold? You can't let Sammy D get comfortable back there. You got to make them panic, got to make them see ghosts, get that pressure. But any other keys to the game that perhaps we haven't hit on yet?
Yeah, I think one of them is going to be the matchup of how does Clint Kubiak handle early downs? Because right now, Robert Saleh is putting it out there with the blueprint that he's put forth with his defense that we're going to stop you in the run game on first and second down. Does that force Clint Kubiak to say, you know what? Let's flip the script and let's try to throw on first and second down when you don't have your pass rushers on the inside. And I think that's going to be one of the things I'm watching in this game is how often do they throw on first and second down, trying to establish that so that way they can kind of mess things up for Robert Saleh's plan. And can the secondary hold up if it's consistent? So I'm curious how both teams handle it. I think McDonald's handles things differently. So Shanahan will have a different set of things to look at. But for Kubiak, is he going to want to just pound the football and get into a comfort zone of being a Kubiak, and that's what you do? Or is he going to flip the script and try to put Robert Saleh in a different type of adjustment? That's one thing I want to watch in this game.
Yeah, I like that. Man, I've been thinking about this, Leo. You're in the back of my psyche here. Leo, appreciate the super chat and your generosity. He says, Bosa, Kittle, Fred, Trent, CMC. The 49ers, 5 all-pro players. All potential Hall of Famers. How many players do the Seahawks have that are on that level? All-pro expectations. Leonard Williams, 1. I would put him there. And then the second player, 2 more players come to mind that aren't there yet, but are on that trajectory. Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think, is close, not there. And I think Devin Witherspoon. I think those are the 2 guys that they are betting on big time, trying to get to that level. What am I missing? What are your thoughts? Do they have anybody? Would you put Leonard Williams on this kind of caliber?
Yeah, I would. And I think there's only one other guy, depending on how he comes back from injury, is DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
That dude's the real deal. And now that you're going to have him and Leonard Williams together, that could create some real opportunities for both of those guys. So those guys are the best of the defensive linemen that they have, and they're really darn good. And like you said, Jackson Smith-Njigba is a ascending player. He's a bona fide Pro Bowler. Can he become the all-pro caliber player? He's going to be featured like it. So let's see what happens. Maybe Cooper Kupp opens up some extra things for him. They're trying to get a young tight end to help with that as well. But yeah, I think you hit it. Those are the guys. Just would add Dexter Lawrence to that group as well.
Yeah, if you're looking at blue chip players, it's like the Eagles, the 49ers. Like, you want to put the Ravens in there, perhaps? Yeah, like if you're trying to find like most blue chip players, the Niners are at the top of the list. And this is the difference between 2017 and 2025 is you have those blue chip, all-pro, borderline Hall of Famers, that experience at almost every level. You got 8 captains. Yeah, 8 captains, man. And you're struggling to get, you could go to 9. Jauan Jennings not on there. I don't think he probably should have been. Brandon Ayuk not on there. I don't think they really should be. But there's more guys that you could put. Malik Mustafa, like the injury, I get it. Like, you could make arguments for more than the 8 that they have. It's just after that, there's a drop-off. And so are you trying to establish quality depth throughout the roster? The 49ers were not able to do that this offseason. So we'll have to see if they could stay healthy. Then you can mitigate that. It's not going to show its ugly head. So that's where it's going to have to be. Look at Smoking Niner guy. You guys are in mid-season form. That's what's up, baby. We were going all offseason now. We have not skipped training camp days. We have not missed workouts. We have not held out for contracts. Maybe we should, Ant. Maybe we need that $3 million in incentives that got out there.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. Now, I do want to take time just to say, a couple things weighing heavy on my heart today. A shout out to my man, JP. He says, please pray for my family. We lost another queen in the family to cancer. And I just want to say, JP is a good friend. I know him personally, and it's amazing what he does for the community and his kids and coaches, all that stuff. And I could not be more sorry for what your family's going through. And just want to let you know, we love and grieve with you. And shout out to the Morgan family. They've got a major surgery coming up this week with cancer. And just want to let y'all know that we love you guys. And I know it's everywhere. And there are so many people that are listening or watching that have been affected by this, are being affected by this, or will be in the future. Understand there are no answers besides the fact that you do not go through this on your own, and that we love and grieve with you. And if you are struggling, please reach out to anybody that you know and have those conversations. But we love you guys. You are incredible, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. Ant, you are the absolute best. We're going to wrap this show up. Next time we talk, We've got football to talk about. It'll be Thursday right before the Saints game. Hopefully the 49ers are 1-0. Everybody go subscribe to the 49ers Cutback as soon as you possibly can. You are the best. And until next time, stay strong, faithful.